So you got Alabama, Ohio trying to keep Biden from the November ballot after the Supreme Court stated that states don't have the authority to remove people from the ballots. This is hilarious. When it was Colorado and Maine and other states removing Trump from the ballot, right wingers freaked out. The courts claim that they don't have that kind of authority. But now, when it comes to Joe Biden, what, the states have the authority to remove people from the ballot? This is obviously, it's obvious what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so that Trump can win, even though they don't care that the Supreme Court stated that states don't have this kind of right. When it comes to benefiting right wingers, uh, these red states will always use states' rights to justify their rulings. When it comes to being against Democrats and left wingers, they will always side with the Supreme Court, especially if they are in favor of what the right wingers want. This shows just how twisted the Supreme Court and a lot of these right wing states truly are.
Kurt, Jessica, this is certainly raising eyebrows across Ohio this morning. This discussion also confusing some voters. Could President Biden truly not show up on the ballot this November? Well, it's all according to Ohio Revised Code, which requires presidential candidates to be nominated by the National Convention by August 7th. But according to the calendar, the Democratic National Convention is set to take place almost 2 weeks following this deadline on August the 19th. So the Secretary of State's
So they're willing to keep Joe Biden from the ballot because he may not be nominated uh, to their deadline, but they're okay with keeping Trump on the ballot, even though he tried to overthrow the government and become a dictator. That is just hilarious, in my opinion. It just goes to show how much the right wing truly supports dictatorships and how little they truly care about like freedoms and laws.
chief legal counsel says Ohio lawmakers, they must make an exception to this law and its deadline, or simply just maybe move that convention sooner so that they have that nomination in on time. We did ask a local professor of law his thoughts on all of this and whether he thinks this is fair to voters.
It's an interesting question as to what the legislature might do. It's overwhelmingly Republican. It's true, but would they really want to make a big issue of this? It seems like a relatively minor issue. Biden's going to lose anyway, likely in Ohio. So the question might be for people looking inside from the outside, they would say, why not just let him go ahead and run?
The legislature must act by May 9th to change that law so that it can make an exception. Now, an attorney with the Secretary of State's office has also sent a letter to the chair of the Ohio Democratic Party, Elizabeth Walters, alerting her of this technical issue. Now, the presidential election is in November, and so we'll continue to follow how this conflict unravels over the next month as we approach that